You picked up the new Blackstone ESeries Pizza Oven. This thing is magical. It can air fry, it can bake, it can cook frozen pizzas and frozen goodies, but also cook fresh cooked pizzas at home in just 5 minutes. In this video, we're gonna go through making a fresh homemade pizza in the new ESeries. I'm gonna show you guys how to launch a pizza and just how fast it cooks. That way you guys can enjoy your new ESeries Pizza Oven at home. One of my favorite shortcut pizza doughs is the Delallo pizza kits. These make either 2 medium-sized to large-sized pizzas or 4 personal to medium-sized pizzas. Following the instructions, it's so simple and easy. Into a mixing bowl, you'll add the flour that's right in the bag, and then add to that the packet of yeast that comes along with this. To that, you'll add 1 1/4 cup lukewarm water. You don't want it to be too hot or too cold. Give this a mix until combined and it starts to form a ball. I like to use a rubber spatula. This way it gets everything off of the edges of my glass bowl. Once it starts to come together, you can either keep going with the rubber spatula as if it was your hand to knead this for 3 minutes, or get right in there with your hands and knead it for 3 minutes. Once it becomes one big hydrated ball of dough, we're gonna transfer this into a second clean glass bowl that we drizzle a little bit of olive oil all around the edges. Get our dough into there, give it a flip this way it's coated on both sides, and then cover it tightly. Stick this in the kitchen, right on the counter, room temperature. You want this to rise anywhere from 45 minutes, like it says on the package, to an hour and a half, depending on your room temperature. You're looking for your dough to double in size. Once this is doubled in size, we take it out, divide this into either 2 pizza dough balls or 4. I'm going with 4 because my family likes to personalize their pizzas. If you want it to be exact on weight, use a scale. For me, I'm just gonna eyeball this. I've done it so many times. We wanna round out or slightly knead these balls, pulling the edges of each into the center, folding over to create a round dough ball. I also like to kind of rub this around my pizza mat. This just helps to seal the bottom. If you need to pinch the underneath side of this, that way that dough really sticks together, go right ahead and do that. Now these dough balls are ready to go. You could use them as is right now. For me, I'm putting them into our dough box. You can use any kind of airtight bowl covered with saran wrap or a lid. Stick it in the refrigerator, let it sit up to 3 days. If you have the time to at least let it sit for a day, your pizza dough is going to taste even better as the days go on in the refrigerator. When you are ready to use them though, be sure to pull them out of the refrigerator at least 30 to 60 minutes before you're ready to make your pizza, which is what we did. Now it's time to get to making our pizza. I've got our pizza silicone mat out. This is so helpful for me, especially because it has the sizes right on this mat, into a mixture of semolina flour and 00 pizza flour. Now the semolina flour is going to help us move around this pizza, whether it's picking it up off of the mat and placing it on to our perforated pizza peel. This one is what we use for launching the pizza into the pizza oven. And then we have a solid pizza peel for removing our pizza once it's done cooking. Once we get this dough ball stretched out, which is super simple, take your pizza dough and using your fingers, press from the inside towards the outside, getting all that air towards the edges, creating a crust. Then you'll want to stretch this out gently, whether you use your fists or your hands, whichever you're comfortable with, without ripping your pizza dough. Just know that once you start building, this pizza will be a little bit smaller. We'll give it one final stretch before launching it, so don't go or start worrying about the exact size just yet. We season up our crust directly with a little bit of our Tutto Italiano seasoning, a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. Just rub that around a little bit. You could add fresh garlic or any other kind of Italian seasoning you like. I personally usually like to go down first with our freshly shredded mozzarella cheese, which I did last night. This way the cheese bakes into our crust. On top of that, I add some of our pizza sauce and then pile it very, very liberally with our Hormel pepperoni cups. These cups, I love how they crisp up and char up, extra crispy in the pizza oven. Now with a little extra sprinkle of some semolina over our perforated pizza peel, we slide this quickly underneath our pizza, giving it a shimmy shake, making sure that we've got some good movement before we're ready to launch this. Before I go putting this in the oven, now is the time to do that one last extra stretch, gently using your fingers underneath the outside of your pizza, keeping the bottom of that pizza peel nice and dry. And this would be the time if you wanted to add any extra toppings, any more of that pepperoni, which I'm going to go ahead and do right now, because this pepperoni, as it cooks, since this is the cups, they really do kind of shrink up as they cup up, I guess you would call it. Now, if for any reason you're waiting for your pizza oven to preheat, it's not ready, say maybe you aren't ready to launch this just yet, although you do want to keep moving quickly when it comes to fresh pizza dough, especially if you're cooking outside. You want to make sure, if you have to wait for any reason, that you continue to check your pizza peel and pizza for some good sliding action. This way it doesn't get stuck up on here as we go to launch. So every now and then, until you're ready, a little shimmy shake, and you can see it sliding around. If it was sticking anywhere, say if it was sticking here, you would just lift it and dust it with a little extra of that semolina flour. You could even get some of that flour underneath, and since we're perforated, kind of try to pick some of it up and keep shaking until it starts to move again. That will ensure a really smooth pizza launch. Right before I go in, I'm going over the top, close to the edge, without getting my pizza peel, of course, because we do not want to wet that. That would make this pizza stick with a little bit extra oil. We'll get our Blackstone ESeries Pizza Oven turned on with the simple touch of a button, then select fresh pizza. This is already set up to preheat at the temperature of 610 degrees. You could cook on a lower temperature if you'd like, just lower it. And for fresh pizza, it has a preset suggested temperature of 5 minutes. Now that our pizza oven is preheated, let's get this launched into our oven. We'll simply open this up. This pizza is going to go directly on the pizza steel plate. With the flick of your wrist, we've ensured that our pizza dough is going to slide right off of our peel into the pizza oven. Now, as our pizza is cooking in 5 minutes, it's going to rotate on its own. That steel plate will start to turn. If you do open up the door to check on it, you'll notice that once you close it, it will begin to rotate in the opposite direction. If you want to turn on the light to check to see what's going on in there, a little press of a button and it's on. You can see it cooking. This cooks so fast, giving me a minute to clean up my little prep station. We've got 1 second left and it beeps to tell me that this is done. I've got my pizza peel. We'll open this up. We'll pull this out, transfer it on to a baker's rack. This way the bottom stays nice and crispy. You can see underneath here just how perfectly it is cooked. I always go over the top of my pizzas with some freshly grated cheese. I've got some Romano cheese, which is so sharp. I just love the smell of this cheese, especially freshly grated. Then over with some fresh torn basil leaves. Then over the top with another one of my favorites. Everything is my favorites. I love Mike's Hot Honey. This drizzled over pizza, especially a pepperoni pizza, is a slice of heaven. A post dust of our Tutto Italiano to finish this off, and we slice into this and dive in. You guys are going to love this combination, but you're also going to love the new Blackstone ESeries Pizza Oven for making fresh, beautiful pizzas at home in literally 5 to 6 minutes. It doesn't get any easier. The only other thing that would make this any more perfect is an ice cold beer. Until next time, I'm Blackstone Betty. I literally cannot wait for you guys to taste this at home. So make it in your new Blackstone ESeries Pizza Oven. I'll be watching.